Hello everyone, in this video we continue solving the Algebra 1 STAAR EOC Part 2. Now, check out the description below for the Algebra 1 STAAR EOC solution Part 1. Now, question number 13. Two customers purchase coffee and donuts at a coffee shop. Each cup of coffee costs the same amount, and each donut costs the same amount. The first customer paid $4.9 for a cup of coffee and 2 donuts. The second customer paid $8.60 for 2 cups of coffee and 3 donuts, right? So let's see B, the price for a cup of coffee, and D, be the price for a donut. Alright, so we have a system of two equations. 1 cup of coffee is going to be 1 times C plus 2 donuts is going to be 2 times D equals 4.9. 2 cups of coffee is going to be 2C plus 3 donuts is going to be 3D equals 8.6. Now we're going to solve a system of two equations right here to solve for C and D, right? Alright, so I look at the first equation right here and multiply both sides by 2. So that I'm going to use the elimination method. So I have 2C, 2 times 2D is going to be 40. 2 times 4.9 is going to be 9.8. Now I'm going to copy the second equation over here. So it's going to be 2C plus 3D equals 8.6. I'm going to subtract two equations vertically. So 2C subtract 2C cancel out. 40 subtract 3D is going to be 1D. Now 9.8 subtract 8.6 is going to be 1.2. So the price for a donut is going to be $1.2. But the question asks you to find the cost of a cup of coffee, right? So you need to substitute 1.2 for the back into the first equation right here to solve for C, right? So you have C plus 2 times 1.2 equals 4.9. Alright, so C plus 2.4 equals 4.9, right? Now subtract 2.4 both sides. So C equals 4.9 subtract 2.4. So C equals $2.5, right? So the answer is A. Now let's move on to question number 14. Which of the function best represents the relationship shown in the graph, right? So this is a linear function. Now use the Christmas tree trick. Alright, if the lines go this way, the slope is positive. If the lines go this way, the slope is negative. The line is horizontal, the slope is 0. If the line is vertical, the slope is undefined. You know that the slope in the subform is going to be y equals ms plus b. Alright, where m is the slope. Alright, slope, which means rise over run. B is the y-intercept. Y-intercept is where the graph meets the y-axis. Alright, so you look at this one right here. The y-intercept is -5 right here. Right, so you need to eliminate two wrong answers, which is B and D. Right, now you need to check for the slope. The slope is negative, right? So because the graph goes this way, the slope is negative. So both A and C have the negative slope, right? Now, we're gonna pick another point right here. This is the s-intercept. Now, we need to calculate rise over run, right? Rise, which means go up or go down. Run, which means go to the left or go to the right. Now, when you count up, which means positive. You count down, negative. You run, go to the left, negative. Go to the right, positive. Now, I'm going to start from the y-intercept right here. Alright, so I have the slope equals rise over run. Alright, so rise. I count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So since I count up 5 units, so it should be positive 5, right? Now I need to count 1, 2, 3, right? 3 points to the left to get these points, right? So I count left 3 units, so it could be negative 3. So the slope is negative 5 over 3, which makes the answer C correct. Now let's move on to question number 15. Two hikers begin hiking at the same time from the different locations on a trail. The system of equation graph or the grid represents this situation. Which value best represents the number of hours the two hikers have been hiking when they are the same distance from the start of the trail, right? So they ask you how many hours, right? So which means they ask you the value of h right here, which means the s-axis, right? So you look at the graph right here, right? The intersection point right here tells us that is solution, right? They have the same distance right here and the same hour right here. Right, so number of hours is between 1 and 2, right? So you look at the answer choice right here, only B correct. B equals 1.3 hour, right? Now let's move on to question number 16. Which function is equivalent to fs equals 6s squared minus 23s plus 21? Alright, so you see that A, B, C, D right here is the factor form, right? So basically, you just factor this one out, right? So you need to identify A, B, and C. A equals 6, B equals negative 23, and C equals 21, right? Now you're going to use S method to factor this one out. So you need to find two numbers that multiply equals. Now on the top right here, you put A times C. It's going to be 6 times 21. It's going to be 126, right? And then B equals negative 23. Now you need to find two integers multiply equals 126 add up to negative 23. So it's going to be negative 14 and negative 9. Now, how do you get these two numbers quickly? You just turn 126 into a product of two numbers, right? So it's going to be you divide by 1 and this one should be 126. Now, if you add this guy up, it's not negative 23, so it's wrong, right? Keep in mind, the product is positive and the sum is negative. Two numbers right here must be negative, right? So you can try negative 1 and negative 126. It doesn't work, right? Because when you add them up, it's going to be negative 127, right? So you can try another way. You move on to 2, right? So if this one is negative 2 and this guy should be negative 63, right? Now if you add them up, it's going to be negative 23, so this doesn't work, right? And you keep doing all the way to negative 9. So negative 9 is negative 14, right? So if you multiply, it's going to be 126. If you add them up, it's going to be negative 23, right? So this one works, right? So this guy can be written as minus 14 times s minus 9. Now keep in mind, if A equals 1, and then you're done. But because A is 6 right here, So you need to be careful, you're not done yet. You divide the constant right here by 6. Divide this guy by 6. Now you simplify. 14 and 6 is going to be as minus 7 over 3, right? Now this guy you simplify is going to be as minus, divide the top bottom by 3. So it can be 3 over 2, right? Now you multiply this one, and you remove denominator. So it could be 3s minus 7 times 2s minus 3, right? So the answer is A. Now, if you're struggling on how to factor this polynomial, and then you have another way to do it, you check every single solution right here using box method. Alright, so I'm going to check the first one right here. I use box method to see if I multiply this one out, it will give me the answer right here. If it is, and then that's your answer, right? So I'm going to put 3s minus 7 over here. So 3s minus 7. And this one, 2s minus 3. So 2s minus 3. Now 2s times 3s, it could be 6s squared. 2s times negative 4 is going to be negative 14s. Negative 3 times 3s, it could be negative 9s. Negative 3 times negative 7 is going to be 21. Alright, now you're going to combine like terms. 6s squared doesn't have like terms, right? So I just rewrite 6s squared right here. Now, normally the like terms is in diagonal direction, right? So it's right here. Negative 9s plus negative 14s is going to be negative 23s. Now 21, I just rewrite it right here. So it's exactly this one. So the answer is A, right? Now let's move on to question number 17. A part of an exponential function is grasped. Which statements are true about the domain and the range of this function, right? Select 2 correct answers, right? Now look at this one right here. Domain, we talk about the x value. Range, we talk about the y values, right? So we look at the endpoint right here. 2 endpoints, okay? Now, when it comes to the domain, we project down to the x-axis, right? Draw 2 lines down to the x-axis. So the domain should be from 2 to 5, right? Now, since we have the closed circle right here, which means we need to include the endpoint. The endpoint is 2 and 5, right? So we look for the domain and range. The domain should be as greater than or equal to 2, less than or equal to 5, right? Now, in order to find the range, we project this endpoint right here down to the y-axis, so it will be right here. It's going to be right here. Now again, we have the closed circle at the endpoint, so we need to include the endpoints, right? So it should be 1 to 8. So the range should be y greater than or equal to 1, less than or equal to 8. Alright, so we look at this one, the answer is B right here. The domain is a set of all real numbers greater than or equal to 2 and less than or equal to 5, which is this one. And we look at this one right here, the answer is right here too. The range is the set of all real numbers greater than or equal to 1 and less than or equal to 8. So these are 2 right answers. Now let's move on to question number 18. The function g is defined by g of s equals 3s squared minus 2s minus 5. What are the solutions to the g of s equals 0? Alright, so I'm going to show you 3 different ways to do this one. Alright, the first one you're going to factor, okay? So you have a equals 3, b equals negative 2, and c equals negative 5. Alright, so we're going to use S method to factor this one. Alright, on the top, you're going to put a times c, right? So a times c equals negative 15, and b equals negative 2, right? Now, you need to find 2 integers that multiply equals negative 15 add up to negative 2. They are -5 and 3, right? So then you just rewrite this one as s minus 5 times s plus 3. Keep in mind, if a equals 1 and then you're done, right? But if a in this relation equal 3, you're not done yet, right? So you need to divide the constant right here by 3. Divide this guy by 3, right? So then you're going to multiply this one over here. So it could be 3s minus 5 times this one, 3 and 3 cancel out, so it's going to be s plus 1, right? And then you let this one equal to 0, because the question asks us to find the solution of GS equal to 0, right? So this is a 0 product. You need to let each of this one equal to 0, right? So I have 3s minus 5 right here equal to 0. I solve for s, right? So I'm going to add 5 both sides. So I have 3s equals 5. And I divide both sides by 3. So s equals 5 over 3, right? The second one, s plus 1 equal to 0. Alright, so you're going to subtract 1 both sides. So s equal -1. Now keep in mind, you only use the 0 product if the right hand side equal to 0. Keep that in mind. If the right hand side is not equal to 0, you need to make it equal to 0. Otherwise, you cannot use this formula. Okay? Alright, so you have two zeros. The first one is 5 over 3. The second one is -1. So the answer is B. Right? Now the second way is faster. Alright, look at this one. Use this trick. If A plus B plus C equal to 0, the first solution is S equals 1. Second solution is going to be B over A. So you look at this one right here, A equal 3, B equal -2, C equal -5. If you add them up, it's not equal to 0, so this case doesn't work for you. Now the second case, A minus B plus C equal to 0. And then the first solution is -1. The second solution is -C over A. Alright, now we check it. A equal 3, B equal -2. So 3 minus -2 plus -5, right? It's going to be 0. So the first solution is s equals -1. Second solution is s equals -c over a, right? C equals -5, so it could be -5. A equals 3, so it could be 3 right here. And don't forget the negative side right here, right? So two negative side turns out to be positive, so it could be 5 over 3, right? So you still have two solutions, -1 and 5 over 3. It's faster, right? Now the third way to do it is to use graphing calculator, right? So I'm going to use the TI-84 plus CE calculator right here. Alright, so you hit y equals. Now you input the equation. It's going to be 3s squared minus 2s minus 5. And you hit graph. The graph doesn't show up, you need to adjust the window range, right? So the best window range is -10 for minimum s value and 10 for maximum s value. The scale is 1. Minimum y value should be -10 and maximum y value should be 10 and the scale should be 1. Alright, so hit graph. So it's going to be right here. Now you need to find the 0, right? So the 0 should be this guy and this guy, right? So you hit second trace. Alright. 0 number 2 right here. Alright, so you're gonna go to the first 0 right here on the left hand side. Move your cursor to the left of 0, right? Hit enter. You get a vertical line. Move your cursor to the right of 0, hit enter to get the second line, right? Now move your cursor inside two lines right here and hit enter. And you see that the 0 is -1 right here, right? S equal -1, y equal to 0, which means this is a 0, right? Now, so you're gonna eliminate the answer C and D, right? Now let's find the second zero. Hit second trace again. Hit number 2, 0. Now move your cursor to the right. Now the 0 right here, the cursor should be on the left, right? Hit enter. And then move your cursor to the right of 0, hit enter. And then move your cursor inside, hit enter. It's gonna be right here. It should be 1.6, which is 5 over 3, right? Y equals to 0, so 5 over 3, so the answer is B. Now let's move on to question number 19. The table represents some points on the graph of an exponential function. Which function represents the relation shown in the table? Alright, so basically you just use a calculator, right? We know the calculator. Hit start, right? Whenever you given a table, hit start, add it. Now input the value for the first column, right? Go up, hit clear, go down. Now it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now go to the right, go up, hit clear, go down. Now 48, 72, 108, 162. Alright. Now hit start again, go to count. Now, this is the exponential function, so you need to go down until you see exponential regression. It should be 0 right here. Alright, hit enter. Now, L1 is the x value, L2 is the y value. Make sure you check this one carefully. And then go to store regression right here, hit vars, y vars, function, y1 to store a function to use later if we need, right? And then go to calculate, hit enter. So a equals 32, which means initial value, right? We know that the exponential function is going to be y equals a times b power of s, right? A is the initial value. So a equals 32, we need to eliminate b and d, right? B right here. So it's going to be 1.5. 1.5, which means 3.5, right? So the answer must be C. Now let's move on to question number 20. Which situation best represents association but not causation? Alright, so please check out the video below to understand what is association and what is causation. Alright, now question A. When the number of spectators at a football game increase, the number of wins for the home team increase. This is not a causation, right? Because it doesn't matter how many spectators were there. The number of wins for the home teams could be increasing or decreasing. So it's not the case, right? Now, question B. When more gallons of water are put into an aquarium, the weight of the aquarium increase. Yes, of course, right? More water, the weight is increase, right? So this is true. When the amount of time an athlete runs increase, the distance she runs increase. Yes, right? Now, when the charge of a cell phone battery increase, the number of minutes the phone can be used increase. Yes, it's true, right? So this is not a causation. The answer must be A. Now let's move on to the question number 21. The quadratic function f(s) equals s squared is transformed to create the function g. What is the equation of function g, right? So this function f is going to be s squared right here, right? So we know that the function is written as the vertex form as follows. Y equals a times s minus h squared plus k. In the transformation form is going to be f of s minus h plus k, right? So in this situation, they give you this form right here, the second form right here. Alright, so keep that in mind. Now, h right here tells us this is the horizontal translation, right? Which is you're going to move the function to the left or to the right. If you move the function to the left, h should be negative. If you move the function to the right, it should be positive. So keep that in mind. Now the subtraction sign right here is the sign from the formula. Now K tells us that this is the vertical translation. Now if K greater than 0, the function moving up K units. If K less than 0, the function moving down absolute value of K units, right? Now we look at the answer choice right here. A, B, C, and D. And then in order to do this one, we look at the vertex right here. The vertex of the parent function is going to be 0, 0, right? Now the new vertex right here is going to be negative 3 and negative 2. Alright, so we see that the function move down 2 units and move to the left 3 units, right? So then h is negative 3, right? K is negative 2, right? So we look for K's first, right? K equal negative 2, we need to eliminate C and D, right? Because the function moving down. Now the function moving to the left 3 units, right? So H is negative 3. H equal negative 3, we substitute over here. So we have F of S minus, this is the negative side from the function. Now H is negative 3, we put another negative side right here. Negative 3, right? And then subtract 2, right? K equal negative 2. Now S minus negative 3 turns out to be S plus 3, right? We have S plus 3 and S plus 3 right here, right? So it makes two answer A and B possibly right, right? Now we look at if there is a vertical dilation, right? So if you have a number A in front of this one, this is vertical dilation. This one is vertical dilation. Now if A greater than 1, the graph is narrower. If A less than 1 but greater than 0, so sometimes you're going to see the fraction, alright? The graph is wider. Alright, so you look at the solid one right here. It's actually narrower than the original one. So which means A greater than 1, right? So A in this situation is 2. Alright, so the answer must be B, right? So there is a vertical dilation that makes the graph narrower, right? In this situation, this is called vertically straight dilation. Now, if you're not sure, you can use Desmos to check your work, okay? So, you just graph the parent function f of s equals s squared, right? Now, the first one is going to be f of s plus 3 minus 2 is right here. Now, for b, it's going to be 2 f of s plus 3 minus 2. So it's going to be right here. Alright. The next one is going to be this guy. And then the last one is going to be this. And you see that only the answer choice right here match the graph given, right? So the answer must be B. Now let's move on to question number 22. We need to graph the linear function right here. Alright, so we just find s and y intercept, right? First we need to find s intercept. We just let y equal to 0, right? Substitute over here. So then we have 2s plus 3 times 0, right? Equals 6, right? So it could be 2s equals 6, and then divide both sides by 2, s equals 3, right? So the first point is 3, 0, right? So we just plot the point s equals 3, y equals 0. This could be right here. Now we need to find y-intercept. We let s equal to 0. We substitute into this equation right here. So we have 2 times 0 plus 3y equals 6. Alright, so it turns out to be 3y equals 6. And then y equals 6 divided by 3 is going to be 2. So you have the second point is going to be 0, 2, right? So x equals 0, y equals 2 right here, right? Now we just connect these 2 points and we're done, right? And that's the answer. Now let's move on to question number 23. A swimming pool can be rented for $110 per hour, right? So this is the rate of change, right? Now the pool can be rented for either 1 hour or 2 hours. The cost in dollars to rent the pool is a function of the number of hours the pool is rented, right? So basically we have y equals k times s, right? Now this is the rate of change, right? 110. So we put the rate of change over here for k, right? So y equals 110 s, right? Now they give you two values of s right here. S equals 1 or s equals 2, right? And this is the domain, right? So the domain should be 1 and 2, right? We substitute 1 and 2 for s into this equation right here. So you have y equals 110 times 1 should be 110. Now we substitute 2 for s into this one, so y equals 2 times 110 should be 220, right? So this is the range, right? So domain is 1, 2, range should be 110 and 220, so the answer should be B. Now let's move on to question number 24. What value of m makes the equation true? Alright, so we have three different ways to do this one. The first way is you just plug each of this number over here into this equation to test out if any of these number make the equation true, and then that's the answer, right? Now I'm gonna test negative 9. I substitute over here. So I have 2/3 times negative 9 minus 9, right? Equals 1/3 times negative 9 minus 27, right? So negative 9 minus 9 is going to be negative 18, right? So I have 2/3 times negative 18 equals 1/3 negative 36, right? Now negative 18 times 2 is going to be negative 36 divided by 3 is going to be negative 12, right? Now negative 36 divided by 3 is going to be negative 12. Makes this one true. Now the second way is to solve this equation for m, right? So we see the fraction right here, denominator is 3, right? We need to multiply both sides by 3, alright? So 3 times 2/3 is going to be 2, right? M minus 9, right? Because 3 and 3 cancel out. Equals 3 and 1/3 right here cancel out 3, so it's going to be m minus 27, right? Now distribute this one. 2 times m is going to be 2m. 2 times negative 9 is going to be negative 18 equals m minus 27, right? Now I'm going to subtract m both sides, so it could be m minus 18 equals negative 27, right? Now I'm going to add 18 both sides. So this one cancel out. M equals negative 9. Alright, so the answer is still 8, right? Now the third way is to use the calculator. We separate this one. This one is the first equation, right? This guy is the second equation. Alright, so we bring up the calculator. We put y equals. Now we input the equation. 2/3 minus 9. And the second equation is 1/3 times s minus 27. close parenthesis, don't forget parenthesis, and hit graph. And we see that two graph intersection at a point right here. Now we don't see that point, we need to adjust the window. Alright, so we hit a window range right here. Now we need to extend the S minimum and Y minimum because it's far to the left, right? So it's negative 20. And then the Y minimum right here, I put negative 20. And I hit graph, it's right here. Alright, so I need to find the intersection, right? So I hit second trace. Now number 5 right here, intersection. And then I hit enter 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then s equal negative 9 right here, which is m equal negative 9. Alright? Now let's move on to question number 25. A graph of a quadratic function is shown on the grid. Complete the statement about the quadratic function. Alright? So the function has a maximum or the minimum value of what's right here, right? So we need to pick this one and we drop it over here, right? So we look at this one because the function opens upward, right? So the function has the minimum value, right? So we need to pick minimum right here. We put it over here. Alright, so the minimum value, we look at the y value right here. It's going to be negative 4. So we pick this one right here. We drop it over here. Right? Now check out the video for the part 3 in the description below. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember that if you failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail.
We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand